Hello everyone, welcome once again to our Montessori training. Today we shall be looking at one very important and interesting curriculum, which is the mathematics curriculum. I am your facilitator. My name is Mrs. Maureen OLA-WILLIAMS. But before we begin, I would like to refresh your memory on the Montessori system of education and how we came about to the 5 all curriculums. Now, remember that I told you in our last training that Maria Montessori, she came up with 5 curriculums after working with special children, or what we call today the mentally retarded children. She realized that these children were being placed in a room that is isolated and starved of stimulation. Placing a child in a room that is not prepared, a room that has no color, no materials, no furniture, how will such child cope? How will the brain be stimulated? She thought about preparing the environment, which today is a key point in the Montessori system of education, the prepared environment. She thought to herself, if an environment is well prepared, it could lead to a stimulation of the child's senses. And that's why yesterday we worked on sensorial education, which deals with stimulating the child's senses with the use of some materials. Some of these materials we mentioned yesterday included the pink tower, the broad brown stairs, the long red rod, and so many other materials. Now, to Maria Montessori, she felt the use of this sensorial material has a mathematical inclination, which means the sensorial materials could be used in mathematical skills. Let's look at what we have today under mathematics. Under mathematics, it is natural to know that children have a natural inbuilt mathematical skill in their heart. For instance, a child is born knowing that he or she has 2 siblings or 3 siblings. A child can easily count 1 to 3 with his or her fingers. A child should be able to identify a group of oranges from a certain group of oranges, assigning a particular digit to such. Now, Maria Montessori now thought to herself that if children are really born with this natural mind of mathematics, how much more when they are introduced to a mathematical activity that can stimulate their brain. Some of this activity includes working with a long red rod, working with a spindle box, or working with a sigil board. It's important to note that children get attracted to songs, stories, and lots of rhymes. There are better ways to get a child to learn. You don't have to learn just by writing on the board. You can use so many materials. But one good way to attract a child is through stories. Children love to listen to stories. Children love to listen to rhymes. And they love to play games. Maria Montessori thought that these are one of the ways to bring children closer to learning. For instance, they could recite rhymes like 10 little fingers, rhymes that have to do with 10 little fingers. They'd get to count their fingers and associate it with a particular number. They could also read stories that have to do with numbers, stories that have to do with grouping and ordering of numbers. And one other thing that attracts children, it's using the beats to count. They could use thread and attach the beads to the thread. They count while attaching the beads to the thread. What attracts these children to these beads is because they are colorful. They are filled with colors, and kids are attracted to colors. Aside this, she has all the materials that she came up with that could aid their mathematical skill, one of which is the most popular, the number rod. The number rod is simply a set of rod that has 10 long sticks. It is represented by a color red and a color blue. Now, each rod has a particular number assigned to it. For example, the first rod, which is what I'm holding here, is the longest rod. If you could look at this rod, you could see it has different colors. It has the red, the blue, the red, the blue. Each of these colors represents a digit. Each of this color represents a number. So what I'm holding here actually is 10 numbers. But meanwhile, you're seeing a single rod, but it's divided into 10. Each of the number represents a single digit. Same applies to the corresponding rod. This as well represents 9 digits. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is number 9. What is the essence of the use of the number rod? Number rod is simply used to associate numbers to quantity. It is used to associate number to quantity. For instance, this is number 1, which means it's a single color and a single rod. So this rod represents number 1. The second rod represents number 2. That's a blue and a red. You can only count 1, 2. Number 2. The third rod represents the figure 3. Now you can see we have 1, 2, and 3. Number 3. The fourth rod represents the number 4. Now looking at the colors, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4. The fifth rod represents number 5. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 5. The sixth rod represents number 6. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 6. The seventh rod represents number 7. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Number 7. The next is number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Number 8. The next is number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9. And the last rod represents number 10. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 10. Now, with the use of this number rod, children can easily associate a particular number to the quantity. The essence of this is to help their counting skill and to be able to help them associate number with quantity. And remember that each color represents a single number, starting from the number 1 to number 10. This rod can also be used to solve simple mathematics, simple addition, or simple subtraction. How is that possible? Let's find out. Here we have the smallest rod, which is number 1. We have the next, which is number 2. To use it in solving simple mathematics, all you have to do is to use the plus or the minus sign. For instance, if I want to teach simple addition with this rod, all I have to do is to place the sign at the middle. So I have 2 plus 1 equals 3. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So simple mathematics, simple addition or subtraction can be achieved using the number rod. The number rod could be used for counting, associating the number with the figure, simple mathematics, and so many other things can be achieved with the number rod. Aside the number rod, we also have some other materials, which are the saging board and the spindle boards. And aside that, we have one colorful material that attracts children. Remember that I told you that aside the storytelling and the counting of numbers with fingers and the recitation of rhymes, you can also attract them using these colorful enrichment materials. They could be beads, they could be little counters, and so on. Now, because they are interested in these materials and they are colorful, they want to work with it over and over again. And that's the key thing in attracting children to learn under the mathematical curriculum, ensuring that the materials are colorful and also ensuring that they work with close supervision. Now, let's look at these are called the beats. Here I have some colorful beads and I have a thread. How can a child learn using these colorful beads and this thread? It's simple. First of all, the attraction is the key. A child will definitely get attracted to this because it's colorful and because it's attractive. And then secondly, their curiosity pushes them to learn more. And because of that curiosity, they want to keep working over and over again. It's a simple game. All they have to do is to fit in this rope into the hole and count while they fix. For instance, if a child is asked to learn or count the number 1 to 10, all you have to do is to get the child 10 balls, 10 beads, or 10 buttons and ask the child to pass it through this single rope and count while passing it. We can do this together. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Here I have 10 beads on a single rope. The other way to help teach them this is to ask them to sort the beads by colors. I could ask the child, count 10 red beads or 10 yellow beads or 10 blue beads in a single row. With that, they are learning colors, they are learning counting, and they are also learning to associate the number with the quantity. Okay, so we are taking the next activity under the mathematics curriculum. The first activity we took was working with the number rod. And with that, we got to learn the use of the number rod to associate numbers with a particular figure. The number rod, as I told you, is the 10 long rods that is associated with a figure. Each rod represents a particular number. So now we are looking at another important material under the math curriculum, which is called the spindle box apparatus. What is the spindle box apparatus? The spindle box apparatus is a wooden material that has lots of spindles that represent each number. For instance, the number 0 is represented with nothing. We actually need to teach the children the concept of 0, which means 0 represents nothing. Now, with the spindle box apparatus, we have each boxes representing a particular number, starting from 0 to 9. Now, each of the box is represented with spindles. For instance, the number 1 has only one spindle. The number 2 has got 2 spindles. The number 3 has got 3 spindles. The number 4 has got 4 spindles. The number 5 got 5 spindles. The number 6 has got 6 spindles. The number 7 has got 7 spindles. The number 8 has got 8 spindles. And the last one is number 9. Number 9, represented by 9 wooden spindles. Now, what is really the essence of this spindle box apparatus? It helps the child to gain a muscular impression of numerals. The spindle box apparatus helps the child to gain a muscular retention of numerals. It helps the child to understand the concept of counting and to associate the counting with a particular number. What else are the work or the importance of this? It helps to improve the child's listening skill. It helps to improve the child's walking skill. And then it instills independency into the child. It instills independency and it helps to refine the fine motor skill, the muscular skills of the child. Aside that, it also helps to stimulate the cognitive ability of a child. Working with the spindle box apparatus, number 1, it improves concentration, it improves the child's walking skill, it instills patience, coordination, and most importantly, the muscular impression of the hand. Now, working with this, the child could feel the wooden spindles and help associate these wooden spindles to a particular number, which as well sticks to the brain and remains for a longer period of time. Now, these spindles can also be used for some activities like simple addition, simple subtraction, or simple multiplication. How can this be achieved? Let's see together. Here we have number 4, that's 4, and that's number 4. Four spindles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 spindles. Plus sign, 3. That's number 3. 3 spindles, 1, 2, and 3 equals 4 plus 3 equals 7. Number 7. 7 spindles. But to teach a child at a lower level, the child is expected to add both spindles to get the right answer. So let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4 plus 3 equals 7. 7 spindles. This can as well be used to count in twos. Teaching children how to count in twos. How can this be achieved? Spindles can be used to play with numbers. You could learn simple counting, you could learn addition of numbers, you could learn counting in twos. So many other things can be achieved. Aside counting and associating the spindle with a figure, a child can do a lot of things as long as learning has occurred. The spindles can be used to achieve a lot of things like counting in twos. Let's see how we can use it to achieve counting in twos. We have lots of spindles and we can share it out. This is 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is 8. This is 2. This is 4. This is 6. 6. And 8. These are even numbers, counting in twos. 2, 4, 6, and 8. So this could be used to teach kids even numbers and counting in twos. Same spindle can also be used in teaching kids odd numbers. Kids at a particular age are meant to differentiate between odd numbers and even numbers. So after learning with the even numbers, you can introduce the odd numbers to the children using the spindle box. One, two, three. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 7, which is an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So while they've learned this is 7, this is 5, and this is 3. Concept of the even numbers using the spindle. They can also learn the concept of the odd numbers using the spindles. This is to show you that there is a lot of things that can be achieved with the spindle box apparatus. Lots and lots of activities. A lot of learning can occur just with the spindle box apparatus. Aside counting, associating the numbers with the figure, you can also do simple addition, you can do ordering of numbers, you can do counting in twos, you can do odd numbers, and so many others. So that's the beauty of the spindle box apparatus. So we have another material under the maths curriculum, which is called the decision board. This is a very interesting material under the mathematics curriculum. What is it used for? It is used to teach the concepts of tens and teens. Tens and teens. It's used to teach children how to count from 10 to 99 or from 11 to 19. Now, it's simple. The material is quite simple to use. It has staging board A and it has the staging board B. The whole purpose is to ensure that the children learns the concept of tens and teens. Here we have this board. We have number 10. When I slot this in, it gives me 11. This is 12. This is 13. This 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. While learning this can also be associated or learned along with short beat stairs. That's the beat stairs. It can also be used to relate it with this counting. The whole purpose of the staging board is to teach kids how to count in tens and in teens. When you say teens, you mean 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, until you get to 19. And when you say 10, you mean like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So with this board, it is so sure that the concept of tens and teens will be well appreciated in the preschool level. Another material we have under the mathematics curriculum is what we call the cards and counters. Usually the cards and counters are a flashcard that has the numbers with some beads. Usually it's mostly the red beads, but here we have the blue. It's still fine, you can use it. So here we have the cards, the numbers, and the counters. The whole essence is to represent each of this number with the corresponding object. For instance, number 1 is being represented by 1 counter. Number 2, we have 1, 2. Number 3, we have 1, 2, 3. And number 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 6, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Number 7, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Number 8, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And number 9, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then number 10 will have 10 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have each of the figure represented with a corresponding object. The whole essence is to learn to associate the number to the object. The number to the object. Aside this bit can also be used to do a lot of things, quite a lot of things. It could be used for simple addition. It could be used for simple subtraction. It could be used for counting in twos, that's the even numbers. It could be used for counting in threes, odd numbers. It could be used for so many activities. The whole essence is that the kids are getting to work with numbers, learn to associate the numbers to quantity, and stick that and always remember that all the time. So with all these materials, I'm sure quite a lot of things will be meant. Ordering of numbers, addition of numbers, subtraction of numbers. In fact, they get to play with numbers, numbers, numbers. So with these activities, I'm sure Maria Montessori had the aim of achieving a lot of concepts under mathematics. Having learned a lot of materials under the maths curriculum, first of all, we started with the number rod, which has 10 rods that's represented by a particular number. We moved to the spindle box apparatus, which is used to associate numbers to quantity. The spindle box, as I told you, are natural wooden sticks that are used to count and associate the numbers with the quantity. We also worked on the decision board. What's the use of the decision board? It's used to teach children the concept of tens and teens, starting from 11 to 19, from 10 to 90. That's the concept of 10 to teens, while associating it with the short bit stairs. Aside that, we went further to work with the flashcards and the counters and the cards. What's the use of the counters and the cards? Still the same thing, associating numbers with quantity. These numbers and quantities can be used in various ways. These flashcards can be used for simple addition, simple subtraction, simple multiplication, counting in twos, and so many others. So with all this material and all this activity, I'm sure that Maria Montessori had that aim of achieving an independent child with the use of simple, beautiful, and attractive Montessori materials. Well, I hope you have learned a lot in today's lesson with all the various beautiful, attractive materials that have been used in teaching. I look forward to seeing you in our next class. Remain blessed until I see you then. Bye.